On the other hand, if I was given the opportunity to help them, would I? Of course I would. That's what I do. I'm a pro-black non-racist. I really, really love black people, but I don't love them more than other people. I love everybody. I'm a black guy, and I try to stick with that. But yeah, I'm not one of those pillow talkers either. When I do something good, I'm really not doing it for the gram. It's not for any of that. I'm just doing it because it's good to do.
I appreciate that. I don't know if this is true, but I did read that comedians on your show say that women sometimes would bring them money.
Katt just said something interesting about being pro-black, but he loves his people, but not loving them more than other people. And I feel like this has a bunch of nuances and applicability to not only as people within America, but also in a global context in terms of national countries. So stay tuned for the breakdown. Unfiltered Vitamin Z being brought to you by Zaid. Thank you for tuning in. So this is what I've always liked and appreciated, is people that love and take care of their own people, but not so much to the point that you start to detest others and you start to isolate yourself and your group from other groups of people. So one of the interesting things, so adopting this mentality, I think is beneficial for two reasons. I think one, as diasporas or immigrant communities and whatnot, when you have this sort of mentality, it makes you want to look out for your people, true, but it also makes you an important member of your local community that you care and look out for other people as well. And in return, it brings greater attention and awareness back to who your people are. Meaning, if you are an Italian person, for example, you love Italian people, you work and grow your Italian community, but the fact that you're active in your greater local community and you take part in the projects, you tap into your, local Irish community, you tap into the black community, you tap in with the Mexicans, you tap into the Asians, and you are aware of who's around you, who you're living with, and you helping out in areas that you can, while also staying attached to your Italian community. Now all these people are going to care about Italians naturally. They're going to be like, man, Italians are good people. They're always looking out for us. They're always checking in on us. And now when something happens in Italy and you raising money in your Italian community, now all the other communities in your local area, they're going to come in, tap in, and they're going to be more aware of what's going on with the Italians in America and with the Italians in Italy, right? That was one of the things that most people forget to realize when certain Latin American countries and certain pockets of the U.S., how Jewish Americans and Jewish Latinos were able to garner that attention. A lot of Arabs in Latin America were able to do that more so than in the U.S. because of longer historical presence in Latin American countries, as well as being some of the fundamental developers and entrepreneurs that helped shape Latin America. So the way Brazil will advocate and talk about things for Israel and Palestinians, for both actually, because you got Jews in Brazil that have networked outside of the Jewish community, but with the Brazilian population as a whole. You got Lebanese and Syrians as well that have networked outside just their own communities and have had a large impact and influence in Brazil as well. So when these things happen, it is because how am I going to care about something if I really don't know about something, right? But if 4 of my coworkers are all, let's say, Indian, for example, naturally, I'm going to end up learning something about Indian culture. I'm going to learn something about Indian food. I'm going to learn about whatever. So when they got a problem, now it feels like, well, I got a similar problem too. Because now that's affecting me. Because if it's affecting the people I work with, the people that I'm reliant on for, let's say you got a company, right? And 6 of your employees are Mexican. You naturally going to care about what's going on in Mexico because it's affecting their family and their friends. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to tap in to see what's going on as well. So the greater influence and impact you can have on your community as a whole, naturally, you, depending on where you're from, might be the only people from that demographic that other folks know. For example, growing up, I never met anybody from Algeria as a kid, for example, right? So let's say you're Algerian, for example. You might be the only Algerian some people in some city in America meet or know. Might be not just the only Algerian, the only North African, you know what I'm saying, the only Arabic speaker, maybe the only Muslim. So now you are representing all these different groups of people, right? Because now all these folks, the next time they meet a Middle Eastern person, an Arabic speaker, another North African, another Algerian, another Muslim, you going to be somebody they compare to. You going to go now based off how you treated them and how they felt by your presence, right? Whether you were a dickhead, whether you were polite and whatnot. Now, when they go out and they interact with other people of a similar demographic, they will assume good or bad things about people of that demographic based off their interactions with you. You know what I'm saying? That's why it behooves everybody, regardless of your background or where you're from and whatnot, to always be on your best behavior. You always want to be exactly how you want people to treat other people from your community, because you're always going to be perceived as that way. And when people know that you are proud and love who you are and what you are, what essentially happens is they start to respect and care about you more. Nobody likes a self-hating bastard. You know what I'm saying? Nobody likes a snitch either. So at the same time, it is what happens is in front of other people, you're going to show like, oh, me and my community tight. But in reality, every community has problems. Every community's got disagreements and whatnot. And if you really care about something, you always want to hold it accountable. You always want to hold it to a higher standard because you know how other people will perceive it, and you want to continue to garner the support and love and appreciation of other community members, right? You don't want all your people acting a fool and then losing respect, losing money, losing opportunities, because now all the other communities, all the other people don't want to work with us because they've seen how we behave. And if we behave toxic, unprofessional manner, now nobody wants to deal with it. In the case of nationalism, as Katt was saying, loving your people first, it's a very simple, Hungary, for example, very simply attacks global issues with the first question being, how does this impact Hungarian people? How does this benefit Hungarian people? If it's got nothing to do with Hungarian people, then I'm probably not going to care about the subject matter. And if most countries adopted that mentality of how does this affect my people, the people that live within my borders, live within my country, every country would be a better country. Again, that doesn't mean you hate other people, don't care about other people, but you have to put an importance on other people first. It's the same thing as men. If we're not selfish to a certain degree, how can we help other people? If we're not selfish with our health and with our time, with our priorities, we will never get to a position where we can help other people because we constantly worrying about other people's problems. So it does take a bit of selfishness, even on a national level, to care about yourself, to care about your country, to care about your people first, and then worry about other problems. It's simply because, let's say I want to host 4 of you beautiful people for dinner, right? And I'm like, damn, I only got my house. I got a family of 5, so I only got enough food for 7. I ain't got enough food for 9. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I can't invite 4 people over. So it's basically the same mentality, the same metrics of you don't have. You got to make sure you're covered first. People within your house are covered. Then see how much extra you got and divide that extra up a little bit to outside, but also not depleting what you already got inside your house. You know what I'm saying? You cannot take food away from your daughter or clothes from your son to give to other people when they needed that shit first. Check, make sure your people taken care of first. And I feel like it's a good mentality to adopt on a house level. And if you look at that from a national level, that's a lot of the problems we got. A lot of this open border liberal BS mentality when it comes to immigration, it's their desire to look like that they're virtue signaling that they care about these people. And in actuality, they really don't. Because they've tried, in Florida, they've sent illegal immigrants to other states and they didn't want them either. So it's like, all right, you're full of crap then. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's not racist to say, I care about my country, my people first. It is the respectful thing because you have standards for yourself, standards for your family. You respect yourself, you respect your family and community. You got to make sure that they're good first. Now, if you can help out a little bit of people, it's a good thing to do. Make sure you do it in a proper way, in a vetted way, but always make sure that you look after your own first. Doesn't mean you hate other people. Doesn't mean you love other people more. It just simply means you got to do what's right by your own first. If you like content like this and you want to hear more talking pieces on related topics, check out the Unfiltered Vitamin Z podcast audio streams everywhere. That'll be a link in the description as well in the bio of the channel. If you like short form content written in video, check me out on X, ZaidUFZ, same as the channel name. And if you like long form content like this as well, leave a like and comment below and subscribe to ZaidUFZ on YouTube. I don't know if many of y'all use Rumble. I've had issues uploading to there, but IG as well, if you want to see like little story updates and whatnot, and as well as short form videos, you can see some things on there. But mostly the YouTube shorts and X, more active on X. Follow me on X, ZaidUFZ, same as the YouTube. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it.